MarineLorD and Wham. It is gonna be our next set here. We got French up against Zhuji's Legacy, starting off immediately on Gorge. And man, Gorge is, true to the name, truly a gorgeous map. And yeah, I mean, a classic one at this point in time. Zhuji up against French, though. I'm surprised by the Zhuji pick on it. Granted that we do have Carmel in the draft as well.
Hold on, Crackety. When did you become a dad? I think that's what the whole stream is waiting for. When these dad jokes had to be born from somewhere. We never got the announcement. My goodness. Guys, Crackety, I feel like a matchup. Sorry, I'm completely thrown off. That threw me for a whole loop. You threw me with the German and you threw me with these amazing jokes.
Gully knows what I'm talking about. There's no kid that I'm aware of, I'll say that much.
Now, MarineLorD, I actually think we're missing a big part here. MarineLorD is playing on home civilization. This is home ground. It's like French on French. And this man, he's ready. He was born for this. But we can see.
It's an uphill battle.
Yeah. Well, a full wham, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. With the amazing performance we've seen from Wham recently, though, he definitely does have the potential. But at the same time, MarineLorD, he doesn't play in small tournaments. This man keeps the secrets all to himself. He brings them.
These last encounters, they are old. King of Dry Arabia, Energy Slapfest #2, and Wham winning both of those? Okay.
Maybe Wham is the GOAT after all. I know Wham has been very actively playing in tournaments like KPMM, but if you look at MarineLorD, he's someone who likes to skip these. He keeps his secrets to himself and he likes to practice with the people that he chooses to practice with. And it definitely puts us in a position where we don't ever get to see the weaknesses of MarineLorD. We get to see him in these S-tier events where he's just like, hey, let me kill everyone and get back out into my cave. So MarineLorD definitely is striking fear into the hearts of people, especially those who don't practice with him. But on French, I feel like he does have the aggression in him. And Wham being famous for his walls, I don't know if any wall can keep MarineLorD out.
Yeah, especially with the French, right? Like the night raids, they're truly something that you always have to be aware of, but it looks like we are gonna be jumping right into our third set of the day. It is Wham 01 spawning in the color blue as the Zhuji's Legacy, his opponent in the color pink. It is Gentlemates, MarineLorD playing as French. We have a French mirror almost, even though the opponent is Zhuji's Legacy here in this one. And yeah, this on Gorge, chances are, Wham, we're going to be seeing some pro scouting today.
Oh, pro scouts? What? In this economy?
No
With
way.
all these nerfs? No, they would never. Come on. Both
They
of
wouldn't
these
do that
guys
to
are,
us.
They're honorable men, both of these guys. Now, we do need to look at the deer. MarineLorD, he's got 2 deer packs right on top of one another. Imagine, guys, I want you to take a moment. Think about 2 seasons ago. That would have been the best second TC spot a man or a woman could dream of. You were getting your stone, every bit of stone you'd ever need, and you plop down that second TC right on top. Your opponent can't do anything because you are French and you have knights in his base. Now that is the alternate reality of this. And I don't know which one you prefer, Crackety. Do we prefer a 2 TC meta or do we prefer a pro scout meta?
Honestly, women, I think I talked about this with you a while ago. I am scared. I am actually scared at the moment if we see a return of the 2TC meta. Because the developers, in their infinite wisdom, they have already, I want to say, pre-buffed English and Abbasid 2TC, like potential. They buffed fresh food stuff. They buffed the farm gather rate from the English. If we go back to a 2TC meta, those 2 civilizations are gonna absolutely destroy, I feel like, not just in ladder but also in competitive play. So I'm a little bit tempted to say, okay, maybe we stick to 1 TC, but we just move pro scout to castle later, or I don't know, get rid of it, something along those lines.
Okay, so this just in, Crackety not a fan of pro scouts, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it's okay. We understand why, because guys, it makes for a very one-dimensional early game, I think, for a lot of people. Although, with MarineLorD, I feel like he's the kind of guy who's actually going to make the plays happen in your base before you just get to sit back and pro scout. Because Wham, playing Zushi, he, of course, just like we talked about earlier, when you are in a civilization match like Zushi or China versus French, you do have to open with that barracks most of the time. And it does delay that pro scouts just a bit. Oh my goodness. That's a nice
Decent.
meditation garden.
Yeah, large
very
berry
nice.
bush we got there, so 48 food per minute, 25 stone, and then I'm gonna guess like 20 wood as well. So we're looking at roughly 90 resource per minute here. Definitely not a bad one, and just getting the little bit of trickle of stone in means that you can very easily afford one or two emplacements, like hand cancelled emplacements on your gold, for example. And just means that it's going to be a lot harder for knights to like do any meaningful damage around there, because they will also take a lot of damage there as well.
I would love to see the villager splits at the early game here, because I think this is something that a lot of us are wondering about with when are people going for that, you know, the knights, or if we're going straight into pro scouts from there on out. But with 6 on food, he should be able to afford one pretty decently and rallying onto it as well. We'll see that in a second now. But Wham, he's definitely heavy on the wood. The man knows the wood is going to be important for this, but he's also got the resources in the bank to make this happen. You can see with 2 villagers on food, that's the beauty of Zushi, right? They just drop off better. And in this case, with the meditation garden coming on out, they're going to have the passive food too. So they do have a little bit of a barrier to work with now. 7 on food from MarineLorD. Again, I want to say it doesn't feel like he has enough to instantly queue up that knight, but just as he's dropping off one by one, he's going to have just enough to drop off. And we saw this in a previous game as well with French. They idle that TC for a second, but it's definitely worth it to get that first knight out. Now, it doesn't get queued up instantly. The villager was more important for MarineLorD, and he's the chief. We believe what MarineLorD does. He says, delay the knight. I'll go pro scouts right off.
Well, he's getting both in the queue roughly at the same point in time, so definitely a very, very nice opening here. Truly showing just off how powerful and I want to say like underrated the economy boost is on the French. Just getting all of these economy upgrades 30% cheaper, because all of these things do add up. Now, it's not completely free like with the Delhi, for example, but still, like, it's a reasonable amount of resource that you're saving up there, and at least you're not delayed on your upgrades. Wham, already having that barracks and stable out is now also getting a lot of units out on the field, and the spearmen are going to mean that he's going to have an immediate answer to those knights. We do not have pro scouts in yet, but the upgrade is going to be coming in very, very quickly as soon as it's queued up, thanks to that supervision from those imperial officials.
Now, MarineLorD is going to be able to most likely get these deer next to his base pretty easily and pretty quickly. The real question is going to be whether he can yoink some of Wham's, because now with those spearmen, it does become a little bit harder, but we can see MarineLorD's active on the knight. He is not going to get impaled today, just wants to cause a little bit of spearman production to delay Wham's economy that is about to flourish. Now, from this, we'll see if MarineLorD does a little bit of that feudal fighting, because with French, he's been a guy who is absolutely a menace when it comes to that early game pressure, but not taking any chances with that knight. You see, that knight is untouched. He is just there to purely delay. Now, we do see survival techniques coming in from MarineLorD as well. He's going to be snacking on that deer at the speed of light and get the mining upgrade alongside it as well. Now, Crackly, I actually have a question about that. We don't see the mining upgrade coming out too early for a lot of players. What makes the difference between getting your mining upgrade in Feudal versus not?
Well, I think Age of Noob did a really great video on that, just calculating at how quickly it pays off, and especially for a civilization like French, which do have an active way of spending their gold, making units in the feudal age. The upgrade does pay off relatively quickly. If you have like 8 villagers or something like that on gold, I believe he calculated comes out to like paying off after like 2 or 3 minutes, something like that. And an ROI of 2 to 3 minutes is very good. That's roughly looking at like manor level of paying off for itself.
Oh, and with that amount of gold that he has, he's definitely utilizing every bit of it. Now, the archer numbers are starting to look a little scary. That knight still not taking any damage. Absolute master play here by MarineLorD, just ensuring that the units are occupied. Although now, Wham has a spearman out on the map, on the wrong side of the map, I would say, as the archers are closing in on them. And you can see they're out for blood. The scouts have one thing in mind, and that is their dear old deer is laying on the ground, rotting away. They need to bring the meat back home.
Ooh, these spearmen are now getting picked off. We do have the archers doing their best here. MarineLorD also utilizing his knights here, knows that the spearmen aren't going to want to turn back around to get some pokes in. Yeah, Wham is still getting some hits in, but eventually, once chivalry comes in, these knights are just going to be able to regenerate.
Wham is cooking, Crackety. Wham decided I've gotten the deer I need, young sir. You may have yours. I'm going castle. So when you're up against French, they also have the option of going castle pretty quickly. You cancel 2 knights in queue and you're good to go. Is this a situation where French easily just wants to go into castle themselves when they see that Zushi goes for castle just to match the lances? Or do they just keep on fighting with those busty knights that just keep on coming?
Honestly, Wham kind of depends in this situation, right? Like, Wham has his gold forward. It is going to be tough for him to send, like, sneak villagers out to the sides to continuously mine gold. If MarineLorD just is able to pounce on that gold mine and cut off Wham from just reinforcing with lancers with gold-heavy units, then I think he can, like, honestly just stick it out in Feudal Age. And that's, like, one of those things, right? Like, MarineLorD doesn't need the age up because he already has the full army composition. For him, he can just keep on massing up units. We are now getting the age up in for Wham, though, as he cannot make lancers in the Feudal Age. And Mount Lu Academy is going to be very, very good here for him. Means that he's going to be getting also a little bit of food in from those drop-off, but also most importantly, at this point in time, especially with the mill just being active for so long, there is a passive effect there on the Mount Lu Academy that makes your Imperial officials drop off taxes, or rather gather taxes twice as often. The cooldown is halved for when they can pick up taxes again. So that's something that people really underestimate, because it means that once you age up, you do immediately have a lot of gold to play with. But we do see MarineLorD now diving in underneath the outpost here. Wham only has enough gold for 2 lancers at this point in time. And he's already starting to dive in. This is quite tough now for him. And honestly, like, the spearmen are going down as well. I don't think he's got enough lances now to reclaim this. A lot of villagers are idled out behind as well. And just not enough damage coming out from the outpost.
It feels like MarineLorD calculated this perfectly. He checked that gold and was like, how much do you have in your bank? Seeing that it is definitely worthwhile to go for this and deny it. And deny he does. This is absolute amazing fast damage that Wham is just not going to be able to do anything about. You see 2 more spears in queue, but those spears are going to melt against the 11 archers that are standing just outside his base. And we see there's no option for him to go out, because on the other side, there are pink units surrounding his base, and Wham must know that this is probably, right now, it's the game. He's definitely surrounded. There's no way he can get out of this. MarineLorD behind this still making units, although MarineLord's backing off a second here. He's done the damage, he took care of the village, and now he's looking for just a little bit more.
At this point in time, Wham, he did manage to get a market in, so is starting to sell some resource. He sold some stone, which he just passively generated from the meditation garden, and that is enough for him to be able to get 5 more lancers in at this point in time. But you just cannot protect your infrastructure anymore without any units, and MarineLorD knows this, and he's just going straight forward now. The villagers are also starting to get picked off here. We do have a good amount of lances, but there is a choke point here. I don't think that Wham really wants to take this fight inside of this choke point. Market does get taken down. 1 more knight in queue, but he is outmassed 2-1 at this point in time. Veterancy, or rather castle age status on these lances, just not going to be enough, and MarineLorD just... It feels like he's really choking out Wham now at this point in time. There's just no access to resource for him at the moment. I do say that, though, but he did manage to sneak his way back out onto the gold on the other side of his base. So maybe there's still a chance for him yet.
Now the question is just, even when you do get back onto that gold, what do you get? What can you even get from that gold to shut this down? You've got a ton of archers. We've got a guild hall coming on in. MarineLorD knows if by some miracle he gets to the late game, the guild hall is going to pay off, and he most likely just doesn't need the Royal Institute to end this. For him, this is a situation of, I don't need to take risks, I can just keep being aggressive, keep him in his base, and then make some plays. Now, 1,000 food on the side of Wham, he has no way to spend this. We can see he doesn't have the wood, He's made the village again, and the village will fall just as quickly. And Lancer now getting a kill here at the back, but keep in mind, this is French. They have a few extra villages for you to work from, especially because they've already killed 5 of yours.
Yeah, Vam currently almost 10 villagers behind, and MarineLorD just doing an absolutely great job here of constricting the income for Wham. And behind this now, Arbaletria on the field as well, and Arbaletria just gonna be absolutely countering out those knights. We're seeing more unique upgrades coming in now for MarineLorD. Not just the veterancy on these Lancers, on these Royal Knights. We already have Chivalry in, but also Cattle Saddled. So an additional +7 damage on these Lancers after a charge is absolutely massive. Wham, he rebuilt the market, but MarineLorD, there's nothing really stopping him from just burning that one down again.
And honestly, this feels every time like a little bit of deja vu. Village in exactly the same place, market in the same place, archers just picking off units. What I absolutely love to see is the archers are not getting upgraded at all. He's saying the orbs are my priority. I don't need these archers to be upgraded. They can just keep firing from afar. The orbs are about to join now, the archer upgrade coming on in, but he knows this is not a priority. The orbs are the ones that are going to be making the difference when these lances connect. The thing is, those lances are not connecting. The French knights are protecting, they're attacking in, and every single time they're just slicing out everything that dares move close. He knows. He knows he's cooked. Absolutely amazing aggression here by MarineLorD. Calculated, he knew exactly when to attack, showing Wham that you are not going to be greedy in my games.
Yeah, and this is just a difficult part with Shuji or China for that matter. When you're up against the French, they just have that kit that can choke out the Chinese, or in that case, their variant civilization of resources. And it's coming in cleanly here. MarineLorD just knowing he doesn't need to go for that very fast Castle Age. He can take his time, he can do damage, he doesn't need Castle Age in order to access these knights. He's already getting them in Feudal Age, so by the time that he finally gets to Castle Age, he's going to have a strong mass out there of knights that he can just upgrade to have a very, very valuable unit in there. And yeah, I mean, this is looking very, very strong at the moment for MarineLorD.
MarineLorD already coming in, making sure the Gorge, a map that historically went quite a long time. He is not playing the long game and absolutely making the Gorge average time take a nosedive right now. But Dry River and Krakeny, we have some crazy shenanigans on the cards. We have KT against Mongols. Now, Mongols, they have been showing the possibility of dealing with KT, but KT is still KT. There's a reason we see it banned all the time. Dry River, though, MarineLorD on KT, I feel like Wham is in for a struggle, because MarineLorD has not been looking passive. Not at all.
I've not seen MarineLorD play Knights Templar that often, but granted, on a hybrid map, Knights Templar, they do have this tendency of kind of playing themselves. They just are like one of the civilizations that just synergizes so well with these hybrid maps, not needing those lumber camps, getting a ton of passive food income. Not really passive, but like, it does generate really, really quickly, having that passive boost to your wood income there. And also, like, when you're out on water and you're investing into ships and you're gathering all that wood, getting 20% of the wood gathered as food on top of everything else, it is just so good. It helps your timings tremendously when it comes to eventually going for that feudal age transition. Means that it is going to be very tough for your opponent to do damage to you while you're transitioning to feudal age. Like, typically in time, you're going to be able to reach that feudal age and get a ship out before your opponent's going to be even able to burn down your dock.
Now, when you get into a situation against a player like Wham, who you know may not be as aggressive as you are, I think Wham has definitely shown us that he knows the strengths of Mongols. He knows when to camp a little bit, when to put up a little pressure. I feel like KT, being, again, a type of French civilization, they do have the opportunity to dive a little harder than what the usual civilizations we see going up against Mongols. So with MarineLorD on a civilization where he can put that level of aggression down, it is going to be hard for Wham to be any bit greedy. Just like we saw last game, going for castle, not having your gold ready for this, showed us that, hey, MarineLorD is just going to punish you for every move that you make. So we'll see if that dock is going to be seeing the light of day. But even for the rest of the draft here, this Frisian Marshes, also a map MarineLorD is an absolute monster on. So let's go see what MarineLorD is going to be doing against Wham on Dry River, and if he's going to get a moment to get that Cognate Palace out.
Unless we're getting baited, of course, and the game's not ready. But it is ready. There we go. Jumping in straight up after the first game in this set. Currently, we do have MarineLorD leading 1-0 in his set up against Wham. We're here on Dry River with Wham in the color blue playing as the Mongols. His opponent, MarineLorD, in the color pink playing as the Knights Templar. And he's already moving out to gold, telling us that this is not going to be a Dark Age dock play. If anything, we're going to see a dock at the earliest in Feudal Age. Right now, MarineLorD's goal is going to be getting that age up in as quickly as possible. And looking at Wham's map here, I've seen better. I've seen better Mongol spawns here for sure. So, yeah, TC isn't really in range of anything meaningful here at the moment, other than the wood at the very least. Ooh, can't that? Can't that? Ooh, that was close. That is close. Like, that could have immediately been GG right there. Like, we meme about it when the Khan dies, that is GG, but losing your scout that early on in the game, that can be a genuine game ender right there.
Now we do see that he's still on the wood line, so it does look like the Mongol is going to be going... I saw a blue dot there. Is he going for a dot? Yes, it does look like. Okay, so was Wham going for the dock? Usually, Mongols is a civ that don't usually go for the Dark Age dock. They're the civilization that denies the dock, but you do need that little bit of a food boost if you are going to be a greedy goose. The thing that I'm a little bit worried about is MarineLorD is playing a civilization that ages up really, really quickly. So when you are on the Knights Templar, you get yourself into a position where you can respond so fast. And if Wham is going to be able to hold on to that, because you mentioned the dock burning, Knights Templar is really good at that, especially when they go for any stage of early units. Now that scout, he's not going to be face tanking. MarineLorD is a man about precision. He's not going to be taking any hits on the horses. We saw how carefully he treated his knights.
Indeed. Behind us, we're actually getting the Knights Hospitaller in for MarineLorD. Very interesting. So no French Knights here, no Chevalier for our MarineLorD. Instead, Knights Hospitaller. Going over the bonuses, what changed? So economy units are getting an additional 30% more health. And recently changed as well is that villagers are getting an additional 10% movement speed. So you're basically getting like a semi-version of wheelbarrow on your villagers early on. What's really interesting is that for Knights Templar it doesn't really matter that much, considering that their workers on wood at least already move relatively little. But for everything else it is quite nice, and especially when it comes to just running away from raids, that is very, very handy. And yeah, I mean, we're now also seeing a dock play coming in.
Now, with that dock coming in from MarineLorD, it means that's not going to be a production building, right? So no dock burning just yet, but just securing that little bit of extra food. So now what we're going to be seeing here from Wham is the question I am asking, and I'm really worried because I feel like MarineLorD on water just gives him that little bit of edge. Now he's got the resources to start making fishing boats, and then the pumping begins behind this. I would really like to take a look at his base. Yes, those guys are just chopping away at the wood, stacking up quite a bit here. We do see a production... Oh, no, not a production build. That's another dock. He wants the resources, and he wants it now, Crackety. He is going to be fishing for a while.
Yeah, double dock play here immediately. I mean, the Knights Templar, they can definitely afford it. So much wood income there from them with that added wood bonus there. Just beaming that wood straight to the stockpile. And that MarineLorD, yeah, I mean, just looking at it already, over 300 wood per minute at the moment. Wham, he still has some workers on wood, but he did not expand onto a second dock behind this.
Now, when we do see that Wham has to be the one putting up the pressure to ensure that MarineLorD doesn't run away with this, I'm just expecting him to be aggressive here. We do see a lot of Mangudai play here, right? And against the Knights Templar, I assume that this is actually a pretty good response as well, because you're playing a civilization that likes to be out on the map, chopping wood. The wood line gets thinned pretty well there, as we can see. A good Mangudai spot over there, but now, what can Knights Templar do when they get into a situation with that type of pressure? We do see the wheelbarrow coming on out. He's not going to be letting villagers pay the price. And he does make his first production building ready for any person or horse that might be firing arrows at them.
Yeah, these villagers are going to be very, very fast now, and they're going to have to be because we are seeing a stable coming in for Wham. So looks like we are going to be getting some double produced Kashyyyks here very early on. Very nice as well. MarineLorD does provide him with an opening here as he is going for the archers instead. So Wham definitely already having the counter out there for the units that MarineLorD is going to put out there. Now, archers synergize nicely with the economy profile that the Knights Templar have. It's just that against the Kashyyyks, it's not going to be good enough. Especially not since now MarineLorD choosing the Knights Hospitaller does not have his own heavy cavalry unit to deal with that.
Now he does go for the barracks right after he realizes, okay, well, these archers not going to be handling the horses too well. He's got to scout all the way there on the map. He's seen the Kashyyyks come on out. He's building it with 3 villages. He understands the urgency of the matter as well. Those 2 Kashyyyks are going to be going straight for the woodline if he's not careful, especially knowing that there are archers. He does not want to waste any time. He needs to get the damage done now before the spearmen come on board. Now, what I love to say about MarineLorD here, he did not greed out and go for a pilgrim. This man has calculated every step of the way. Archers firing at the Khan. And we can see the Kashyyyks not too sure about where to strike just yet. They don't want to be taking any unnecessary damage, especially when you have a little bit of easy fire going straight at you. Double producing archers from Wham as well.
Ooh, there's an outpost trying to come up here, but that is always such a greedy thing, I want to say, but also very easily punishable, because if the outpost is right next on that shoreline, it means that a demo ship is going to be able to easily take that one out alongside the villager. We do have a scout working on hitting that outpost, so at this point in time, if Wham wants to cancel it, he's going to lose out on most of the resources from that outpost, and I believe he will have to cancel it as the archers are moving in. Wham, is he canceling? He is canceling it. And yeah, he did lose the majority of the resources there. Kashyyyks trying to find a raiding opportunity here as well. Aren't gonna find as the villagers do turn around and try and trap the Kashyyyks in there.
And this shows how amazingly perfect MarineLorD is playing around that wood line there, because you cannot do any damage to this man. I know a lot of people, they might see Kashyyyks and they're like, oh, villages are about to get raided. These guys have not gotten a single kill. They keep on charging and MarineLorD is ready with the reactions. He does not even get to kill an archer here. The TC fire is insanely accurate every single time. The archers now taking a bit of a fight here, and it does look like Wham is just making more fishing ships and no military ships going to be coming out on this lake, and that could be expensive because now you're just trying to get your eco going when there's a pretty big army coming right for you.
Yeah, honestly, it feels like Wham isn't really feeling the heat yet. Very surprising, because I'm certainly feeling it at this point in time for him. Kashyyyks once again trying to wrap around, but the archer superiority just being there from MarineLorD. He just has more units out, even with the double production Kashyyyks coming in from the front side. But honestly, at this point in time, just a single archer ship would have provided Wham with so much more comfort and so much more agency here in the middle of the map. And him not going for that, it feels like kind of a waste at this point in time. Means that MarineLorD is going to be able to contest this dock very effectively. And once that goes down, that's going to be 3 fishing ships down for Wham. And he's going to be behind the Knights Templar in economy, which is not a spot where you want to be in, considering that they have to idle out that TC for the age up.
And that's usually something we never see against the Knights Templar, because you have to do significant damage to be able to get there. But no, MarineLorD, he's just shut down a dock, and it shows again, Wham just going for that extra fishing ship instead of a military ship is a situation where he's like, okay, he's probably not going to be able to punish this, but every little bit of greed that MarineLorD sees, he's punishing. And we'll see if he's going to be able to do a little bit of counter damage. Pilgrim coming on out, walking right past the boys. MarineLorD finally making a little bit of a greedy move to try and get the gold he so deserves, he says. Now, these archers are just working their way through every fishing ship. Every bit of investment on the water is just going down, and Wham, he's not on the Mongols that people have been worried about. MarineLorD is just constantly outproducing all of these military units, and he has an answer for everything coming his way. MarineLorD doesn't have a ship on here either yet, but he is getting one the moment the aggression starts.
Yeah, I mean, Wham not going for any military ships at this point in time. He just can't keep up with the archer count, right? Like, it's just the Knights Templar privilege, so to say. They just make archers in a manner that other civilizations typically can't really match. It's just so much more wood income. Now, a big archer mass, it's also something that MarineLorD is very much known for and very comfortable with, just massing big groups of archers and getting to the point where your archers are actually effective even against their counters. That's something that we see very often. It's kind of like sort of the classic maneuver there from MarineLorD in Age of Empires 4. And I mean, Wham, he's trying to outmaneuver MarineLorD here with the Kashik raids again, but looks like MarineLord's just on top of the game here and just always reacting, being in the right position here. Getting a little brace there on one of the spearmen. Spearman is going to go down, but no village is going to fall.
And it just, every single time there's a little bit of a move out here. MarineLorD, he puts the spearman there to get the attention, so he has the time to respond here. Wham getting +1 range defense and attack. It shows that Wham doesn't realize how far ahead MarineLorD is, because of course these players did not have the god vision we do here. And in his opinion, he's been making units constantly. MarineLorD has been making units constantly, but they're Knights Templar. They need a little bit more to get going, right? So for Wham, this is a massive army that I don't think he was prepared for until he moved out there. Those Kashyyyks are not finding any damage, and Wham pulls back. But the question is, what now? What can he even do against this huge army in front of him? We see the extra pilgrim coming out from MarineLorD as well. That's been his only source of gold for a while. MarineLorD going to be shutting down this little bit of a food economy that Wham had on this lake as well. And it's just going to get harder and harder for Wham to get back from this. He's getting more Kashyyyks now. But the problem is the spearman numbers are so scary.
And Kashyyyks behind us going down inside the wood line from MarineLorD as well. Trying to go for a raid, but not going to be able to find it effectively here. More fishing ships going down now behind all of this. Wham, he still can't match up to the archer count from MarineLorD. And currently we're sitting at an army difference here with MarineLorD sitting at 5,000 army value and Wham only at roughly 4,000. Looks like Wham wants to force a fight here. It's outside of the range of the dock of the attack ship from MarineLorD. Movement speed arrow is also coming in here. Looks like he's able to force a couple of arrow volleys out there. Able to take down some of the archers. More reinforcements coming in though. Is this going to be enough though? Kashyyyks have to turn around and there's just so many spearmen. And now Wham, I feel like he overcommitted. Kashyyyks going down as well here at the front line. Just spearmen being in position there. The archer count, it's just looking overwhelmingly strong for MarineLorD at this point in time. Wham getting pushed completely back, still trying to trade out here and there. Line formation coming in on both sides. Trying to micro this one effectively. More and more spearmen going down. Most of the spearmen actually gunned down at this point in time, but there's still just enough. So the Kashyyyks aren't able to quite close the gap, and Wham, it's still not enough at the end of the day. 50 to 26 military units. Wham getting pushed back further.
And the problem is MarineLorD's food is looking amazing. He's just constantly making units. Wham spending every bit of resource he has into these units. Kashyyyk getting one charge off. And it feels like Wham has a moment of breathing room. But then you look upwards and you see the count of all these units. And he is in trouble. Now, more archers in queue from Wham. Wham knows, I need to do something magical. I need to keep the pressure up because there needs to be a way for me to close this out. But KT, it's a civilization that just constantly has that food income even when they run out of food because they can just keep chopping wood. And Mongols, they don't have that choice. This is a situation where he's out on the deer trying to make things work, trying to pick off these spearmen, but the numbers are in MarineLorD's favor and he just gets to kite forwards and destroy everything.
So many more units coming in. We're seeing Khan's Hunter now also in queue for Wham. And we do know that Wham believes in magic. But does magic believe in Wham in this situation? This is a rough one at the moment here for him. Getting outmassed almost 2-1 at this point in time. A little bit of extra attack range is certainly going to help him out. But MarineLorD, without even going on to gold, just a passive Pilgrim gold income here at this point in time as well, is going to help him just getting enough gold in for potential Castle Age. And honestly, Wham, he just needs to pause for half a minute and he's going to have more than enough resource for that. Could also pull some villagers to gold in order to be able to afford some upgrades as soon as the age up comes in. Even forward securing the deer now as well with an outpost, and there's just really no way at this point in time for Wham to really punish this with his current army size.
Now, Wham sees this and he realizes, hey, I just ran out of food at the back. He's getting a tower here at the front, trying to get a semblance of an economy here. Forward, also putting down yet another dock. I don't think he's going to be making the same mistake as not getting a military ship or two, but with the amount of archers, you are going to need a Bao-Chan to be able to just stop this army without them taking you down. And this is the wrong game for that. Wham knows this. He's clinging on to something, but MarineLorD has exploited every advantage, getting Republic of Genoa. Now, this is going to make sure that those pilgrims, they just bring a little bit of extra economy that MarineLorD doesn't even need. He's just enjoying his time. Now, we'll see if he puts a few more villages back on gold, or if that pilgrim gold is going to be enough for him to just keep this push going. Because honestly, he probably doesn't even need extra gold. He's got enough archers to just go right through the base and even kill the TC with them once they get upgrades.
Yeah, at this point in time, I don't think Wham can really go for a step redoubt. He's only got 30 military units, meanwhile MarineLorD pushing 80. Ooh. Yeah, Kurultai it has to be. He needs to get something in order to increase his fighting power on the field, so Kurultai definitely the reasonable choice. Pretty much the only choice, even, I want to say here for him. We do have one Keshik trying to get another villager snipe here, but MarineLorD does have villagers out there trying to defend that spot, and the Spearman is going to be able to repel that Keshik. Immediately, we do see a monastery coming in as well, so next up, it's going to be those relics and sacred sites that MarineLorD's going to focus on.
You can see MarineLorD is focusing on the late game. It's like, oh, I need relics. I need to think about what I'm going to do to get that part of the game for myself. While Wham on the other side, he's like, I need firepower and I need destruction. And the Kurultai is that answer. But what follows after that, that's a very tough choice. And I don't think there's anything he can do to actually have an answer to this army, because those archers are getting the upgrade at the speed of light. They're getting +2 on top of this as well. And MarineLorD calmly says, oh, I need to go get the relics. Oh yes, let me quickly go make one of those and spend my gold. Well, Wham, he's just desperately trying to afford any bit of an upgrade.
More raids coming in here. Veterancy on the Keshiks not in yet, and the Spearman tried to get the gap close in. Not able to find it here, but now MarineLorD, he's just sitting right outside of Wham's base at this point in time. It's 71 archers, Wham. Now they're probably able to one-shot the Keshiks truly at this point in time as well.
Especially with that +2, they are going to pierce anything that tries to come on out of there. And you can see Wham is trying to make units there at the back, but it is just not going to be possible. There's 5 archers in queue. And as quickly as they come out, they will go down. But MarineLorD, even with that big mass in his opponent's base, he's still got enough space to protect any villagers that might be harmed. Instantly pulling off because he realizes, oh, those arrows destroying the building. Because once it's backed up, it takes quite a bit of damage extra there.
Yeah, no more ranged armor means that if there's 70 archers right in front of that... Oh, no, he's going to step up. He's going to step up. The Kurultai has to be so careful here. It's going to unpack. It take a significant amount of damage, but thankfully, he did manage to unpack there. Still, is Wham actually even going to be able to take a fight here? It's not really looking like it behind this MarineLorD, also capturing up every single relic. We're now also seeing Templar Brothers coming in. All the blacksmith upgrades already researched for MarineLorD. Wham only just now getting his +2 pierce armor in.
Now, in this position, Wham is asking himself,
wait,
what can I do? What? Yeah?
The archery range, was that the one that he was researching veterancy on?
Yes.
The one that just...
Yes,
oh,
it was.
no.
And I was actually so surprised because I thought to myself, oh, it's going to make it. It's totally going to make it. And those archer arrows were just too strong. But you can see now, those Keshiks, they do have a fighting chance against a handful of these archers. And he's trying to find damage, but MarineLorD is just not allowing any damage to be done. Constantly, units in every position. You can see those pilgrims. Those were probably the only things he'd be able to raid, and they're still making it to the sacred site every single time. Now the archers, they have a different target, and that is the main base, because they can deal with anything.
Yeah, oh no, Wham, he only just now noticed that his archer upgrade is not in. He just requeued it, but now the Kurultai is out of position entirely. MarineLorD realized he's got to jump on it. Kurultai is going to unpack, and now Wham, he's got to take a miserable fight here. Not the fight he's been looking for at all. And that just calls GG. MarineLorD now finding himself on match point.
That is such a tough position, but to be fair, Wham did give him Knights Templar for this map. And this was something that you can expect. This is not a civilization that anyone has been wanting to allow through on Dry River. So MarineLorD absolutely making it look like Knights Templar is a S-tier civilization. We see that military value lead. It looks like an exponential graph. Every single time you start losing army at that rate, you could just see with Wham's army, he had so much, but MarineLorD was just able to stay ahead every single time. Absolute master play from MarineLorD.
And now we can see the next matchup that's going to be coming in. We're going to be seeing the Byzantines for MarineLorD up against the House of Lancaster for Wham. Not a matchup I want to say, at least, that I see too often. Now, granted, something that the Byzantines used to do very well, it was those Kara-Siphon all-ins, especially against a civilization like the House of Lancaster that would be coming in quite nicely. Issue with that is, though, that currently Byzantines, their timing has been moved back by, I want to say, like a minute or two when it comes to like their first mercenary like kind of timing with the way that they play now with the early cisterns. So that gives a lot more time to the House of Lancaster to prepare for potential all-in.
Now, when we're looking at the rest of the matchups, yes, I feel like Wham has a pretty good civilization here, right? Lancaster, it's undeniable. People still believe that they're in a great position, but like you said, Byzantines, on MarineLorD of Byzantines, I feel like he can punish Lancaster. And the nerfs that we've been seeing against Lancaster, I feel like Byzantines, they have the answers to do something about that. Especially considering it was mostly HP on those manors. And Byzantines, they have powerful enough feudal push if they wanted that to be a play. But definitely Wham has the civilization to try and take a game here. So if there's a game to take, it's this one. I just don't know if the plan was to take Lancaster on Dry Arabia or if the plan was to leave it for a different map here altogether.
Yeah, I mean, where else could you really use House of Lancaster, right? Like on Carmel, I want to see like maybe, but there are better civilizations in Wham's pool to use that. Frisian Marshes is an option in theory, but then again, Frisian Marshes, I want to say, is potentially more of like an Ottomans kind of map at the moment, just because it's easier for you to reach Imperial Age, go into those later stages and make use of Sipahi. And Carmel, looking at Wham's draft, that just kind of like screams Malian at me, because like you get very easily depletable gold veins, and Mali just able to make them last for so much longer and just getting a lot of passive gold out of them as well. So I think House of Lancaster here in Dry Arabia definitely makes a lot of sense. Byzantines, though, we've seen them earlier. Just a very, very strong civilization in general. Very good cistern scaling, very good economy overall. And those mercenaries, man, they can be truly overwhelming, even when you're not getting the most ideal mercenary unit out there. Just the sheer mass of free units can catch your opponent off guard very easily.
And we saw exactly what that could foretell from our game between Anatan and Beastie. So we'll see what those mercenaries are going to be behind his base, but I'm a little bit worried. So, okay, to be fair, it's Dry Arabia. The market can spawn anywhere, right? But I am excited. I'm excited to see if we are going to be seeing a lot more pro players go for something like that. Because a lot of people, they've been very much focused on what is in my market. But like Anatan said, him and B, they've been playing that way. So let's see if more pros have been watching these games and actually take a little bit of a hint. But guys, we're going to hop on in, maybe. Yes, we did it! Finally! And MarineLorD, he's going for a mill, Crackety.
It is something that he's seen somewhere, potentially. We do know that MarineLorD is known to play the occasional practice game with Annatant, and Wham, on the other hand side, he is opening us up with some Dark Age pressure as the House of Lancaster. And Whammon, this is one of the things we talked about. Current Byzantines, they're not that strong up against Dark Age pressure anymore. But very interesting play here from MarineLorD. It's like he is expecting this to happen. He is specifically gathering the berries at the far end of the berry patch there. The furthest away berries are the ones that he's starting off with, in order to get potentially just enough olive oil for mercenaries within the berries that are in the TC range.
Mm. And especially when you're playing against someone who is now going to be most likely aggressive, you most likely will not have the opportunity to just go from there if they follow it up with a tower rush or anything behind that. Is that actually a way that Lancaster plays? Do they tower rush alongside? Just Spearman for now. Oh, another one as well. Is this a possibility for Lancaster that they do go for a tower rush with Spearman or alongside the Spearman at least?
I want to say it's a possibility for any civilization that goes for just early spearmen up against the Byzantines, because that just further secures your position up against them. But this spearman here is quite nice, but I guess MarineLorD should still be able to gather up enough resources for the age up here. Second spearman now going to be coming in as well. Another villager is going to be sent out to gather gold there. Is this going to be enough, though? We are getting fairly close. We're getting to that point, though. It looks like MarineLorD just about is able to gather up enough gold there. Can we quickly check that? Yeah, it is enough. It is just barely enough. So MarineLorD is going to have enough gold for the age up now. 3,899 gold remaining in that gold mine.
Now, that feels pretty good to just get the units that you need. And now those spearmen, they need to walk all the way around to the other side to actually do something, which is quite a far trip for them to take. And we do see a few blue dots over there on the side. Wham has called... Ooh, and he had the villager there.
He cancelled it.
It's probably because he saw the amount of berries that have been depleted. This does feel like a pretty big investment that he would be going for here. But pulling that villager back all the way, it is expensive. That's a lot of idle time. At this stage of the game, probably not with 40 resources a minute, but oh my god.
Ooh, instead he wants to put the outpost on the gold vein instead.
Now, this is against the hippodrome. And yes, spearmen do counter horses, but this is a different type of hippodrome. This is a hippodrome that will deny the resources in your base. And these spearmen being all the way in MarineLorD's side, they are not going to be ready to help their villagers gather the stone that they need for those manors.
And every now and then going for a little dive there with his own spearman there. Outpost now coming in is going to be able to deny 2 gold veins as well as the deer. Also something that MarineLorD doesn't see at the moment. Doesn't actually know that deer are there, but guess he will just be able to guess that his deer are on that side, judging just by him scouting everything but that spot. Lancaster Castle now also coming in for Wham. Is going to be on a little bit of a delay, but will still be coming in time. And yeah, I guess we'll probably just be seeing some standard manner follow-up here now from Wham. He's going to have to be careful, though, about those horsemen, but does already have a barracks inside of his base, so will be easily able to put out the counter unit out there.
Now, I didn't even imagine that tower denying so many resources. And when you pointed it out now, that's all the gold on one side. He's not going to be able to get there at any point. So this is a pretty powerful tower to have, especially considering it denies everything. Now, with MarineLorD, though, he's going to be able to make those horses, and we saw how well he treated those horses. He's going to be able to keep them alive, most likely. Now, he does have enough wood to try and do something else with this. I'm assuming instantly an archery range going down as we see 150 wood just disappearing off the face of the earth. Oh, no! He's going for mercenaries.
He's already got the oil for it.
He's got the oil! What is he going for, Crackety? Longbows?
Yeah, longbows. Now, longbows just make so much more sense, and this will also be very interesting, right? Like, imagine getting some war elephants in every now and then. Once you get to the Golden Horn Tower, elephants definitely could be nice. But yeah, it is going to be the longbowmen coming in here, and we're going to be seeing a classic army composition based off archer and cavalry. That is going to be absolutely fantastic here with the longbows. They're also going to do very well up against the yeomen because they do outrange them.
Now, as we can see, those horses are going to be heading straight for the enemy's base as they are not going to be finding damage against these spears. A villager now being very angry towards those deer, killing every single one of them, not letting anyone live. But now, this is going to be a raid that will make a difference, because this determines the pace of what Wham's boom looks like. And Lancaster, they love being given time. But it doesn't look like MarineLorD, with the amount of horses coming on out, is going to be giving any time. First mana is going to go on down now. And the next one, resources are in the bank. And the spearman is in position as well. He doesn't want anyone to be killing his villagers on the stone over there.
He's gonna have that answer out there immediately. Second spearman also coming in. Triumph getting pulled immediately. MarineLorD definitely, I think it's personal with that spearman. He's just utilizing Triumph immediately means so that all of those Triumph stacks are gonna run out and not too much to show for it. Scout is gonna have to be careful. That's gonna be at least 2 sheep going down here. MarineLorD is not gonna let those sheep get away. That's an easy minus 400 food right there.
MarineLorD's booming behind this. In terms of getting a lot of cisterns. The amount of cisterns he's going to be getting, he had a lot of villages on stone there. Is he going to just be making a play to try and get the gold back? Because there's no other gold he can go for unless he goes very far forward. So, with that amount on stone, he's going to be getting quite a few manors. Oh, not manors, cisterns.
Yeah, there's also an issue. Triumph, once again, is getting pulled here. Villagers do feel a little bit trapped. We do not have Explorators yet, so no gold going over, but that's going to be 3 villagers getting picked off there by MarineLorD. No way out for those guys, and Wham right now, he is lacking military inside of his own base. We're seeing Hobelas come in now. That's a good answer up against the longbows, but up against Triumph Horsemen just does not feel like the right answer.
Getting those Hobelas out, knowing that they take a lot less range damage, but horses, they destroy them. Especially in those numbers, and you see MarineLorD, he's aware of this. He's just going to keep on making horses. And now, with the amount of cisterns that he has, oh no, the longbows are going to be able to pick off some things. And it looks like those villagers were going back onto stone. He wanted a few more manors. But now those longbows are going to be able to tickle anything that comes out of that base. Because with that range, you can basically do whatever you want. He's not investing all of the longbows here, which is pretty smart. Because, of course, you want to keep some of them in your base for if there are any of those pesky spearmen running around that you saw in the other game.
Ooh, this is starting to become a little bit more interesting now. MarineLorD, he's just invested into a blacksmith without any villagers on gold and without any gold in the bank. And what is securing the gold at the moment? It is going to be an outpost from Wham. So MarineLorD, he's going to have to think about where he can realistically get gold from as soon as he starts moving out to outpost, because I believe this actually hasn't been seen yet from him.
Now, the problem is behind this, not just the fact that he's denied of gold there, but he doesn't have enough. Ooh, and the fight finally happens. All the laws, straight on the horses.
They're not good.
They don't do too well.
But they're focusing. Okay, there we go. They're focusing the right unit. Lombo's getting picked off.
They're not backing off yet, Crackety. The horses, though, they are backing off. It doesn't look like MarineLorD wants to take this fight anymore. He's done now. He's like, I've done my damage. I'll come for another round. I just need a little bit more Triumph in my pocket. Now,
behind this with Triumph, he can actually potentially have a go at the outpost, even though it's fortified. With Triumph, with that healing, he might have enough DPS to just push through it.
Oh, I was about to say, when he can't even go for Limited Nay, because with Limited Nay, you still don't have that Dark Age upgrade. So you're still just going to have all these Dark Age Limited Nay with no gold in your pocket to do anything with. So the horses are the only answer. And it looks like he knows this. With pulling all the guys back, he is sending another group back into Wham's base. Because, of course, this is still Lancaster, right? So he needs to be a little bit more careful about letting that economy just boom.
So many horsemen at this point in time. We are getting some Demi-Lancers in, but Demi-Lancers, well, they're not the great Lancers that they want to be. Let's be honest here. Still a good enough mass of cavalry here. MarineLorD has to respect it for the time being. Triumph getting activated, though. It's probably not going to be that long of a Triumph, but it does seem to last long enough. There we go. Triumph did just end now. Spearmen are getting picked off behind all of this. Demi-Lance is still trading out somewhat effectively here, but not effective enough as the majority of the horsemen still able to survive all of this. Couple more spearmen. This might actually be enough here now. Yeah, MarineLorD realized, okay, maybe doesn't want to push in too much deeper here. He is getting pushed back now. A lot of the horsemen are still rather weak now. He wants to make sure that these 2 longbows are going to be able to stay alive. Next batch of longbows is out though, and once these are able to reconvene with the rest of the army, he's going to be able to easily deal with these spearmen.
And MarineLorD is on the gold now, Crackety. He's decided, I'm going into the middle of the map. I
with a lot.
have the power.
Yeah, that's a lot of villagers right there. He just wants gold, and he wants it now. He wants it right now. 12 villagers. Okay, yeah, that's a good amount. No cistern buffing this one up, though, at the moment. But yeah, I mean, Wham, he is getting a little bit of value from that. And now behind this, looks like he wants to expand into a couple more manors. But I gotta say, like, MarineLorD's army composition just looking a lot better here. And Wham, a little bit asleep at the steering wheel. Almost lost a couple more knights, but did take a good amount of damage on them, that's for sure.
I absolutely love the fact that MarineLorD is able to use those longbows to just perfectly focus down all those spears. The spears, every single time they try to make a connection, you just see MarineLorD microing them, ensuring, and the Triumph gets clicked. He wants these horses to heal right through it. Longbows, making sure these spearmen are not long for this world. The horses are focus firing everything they can. Now they're even willing to take on these spears. They do pull back for a second there while the longbows are doing their work. +1 is about to kick in for these horses as well, so they are going to be doing even better in these engages.
And Wham, he just lost the entirety of his army, at least the entirety of his cavalry army that has just gone down. He is starting to remass more into the Hoppler. More manors are starting to come in here for him now. But the economy is just not looking great right now. He's out on the deer as well. Could easily get caught out there. Behind this, once again, just more and more of these horsemen coming in. And Triumph really starting to show its strength here, as there's a lot of weak horsemen that have just regenerated a ton of health in their lifetime.
And you can see Wham. Ooh, he's getting wheelbarrow, but that will get cancelled pretty soon. And Wham being out here on the deer tells you the story of a hungry Lancaster, which is not a story that's been told many times. Because of those manners, they always have that little bit of a food advantage most of the time. But now, that tower is still there. It's living its best life, being completely untouched, but MarineLorD just doesn't care. Now getting +1 range attack as well, and feeling brave enough to go on the boar. That is pretty ballsy, Crackety. He is really, really confident in this. Just lose a villager there.
Yeah, it loses a villager, and that means that Wham suddenly looks a little bit better, but it looks like there was some idle time as well on the TC, potentially, as he's still 3 villagers behind.
That is a pretty massive difference to have, especially against the Byzantines when you have been the aggressor. Now, Wham, he's got quite a lot of wood in the bank, so he does have a few options he could potentially go for with those, but Hobblars are the answer, he says. Now, I don't know if there's anything he can do to shut down these horses, but it feels like he has that same emotion regarding this. He's gotten the manors. He's trying to let the manors do the talking, get units from there, but it feels like MarineLorD is not giving him that opening. Now, getting every military upgrade he needs, longbows, trying to kite back, the horses putting back, but instantly going back, yet again to deal some damage, but these spears are going to make their way through, and these longbows are probably going to be going down pretty quickly. The horseman will make it out alive, but he does need to back out and ensure that he gets that mass rebalanced against the amount of spears coming out of Wham. Wham recognizes the fact that he's just on longbows, and this is maybe the answer to his prayers, but he is getting wheelbarrow now, so the villagers don't die again.
Walls are starting to be finished up here. And Wham, he is starting to get a pretty decent army mass out. It's a lot of units, right? But then you see the kind of units that it is. It's Hobblars, and you're like, okay. That's certainly a unit in the game that exists. We can look at the stats. It's got some great stats. It's got melee damage, lots of it. It's got ranged armor. Arguably, actually, a lot of it. But yeah, that's about it.
Now, the melee armor, those things melt so quickly under a little bit of sun. MarineLorD, though, going towards castle now. You know, he's thinking about castle while making more horsemen. And I absolutely love this, because it shows... Oh, never mind, Crackety. Remember what you said earlier? Very well called, I'd say. Now, that one villager is going to be going down pretty soon as well. One of the horses to get pulled to do so. And it looks like all those horses are just going to be healing up through all of the tower damage that might be going their way. But Wham is also out for blood. We see him now running into the pink dots everywhere onto the front stone as well. Now the villagers do need to back off, and the Hobbelas, they might snack on some villagers right now, getting a beautiful surround and
They do no damage.
getting any kills. It's the damage.
Yeah, all the villagers are able to make it out alive. The Hobbelas, they forgot to sharpen their swords.
And
That
they
was
might be paying
depressing
the
to see,
price.
Whammon. That was actually depressing to look at.
I was really excited. I was so excited for Wham to try and get some damage onto the eco. Because Wham now, he's ready to age up. Does he go for the King's College? Or
This was
does
some
he-
good delay that he caused at the very least on the gold income, right? Like, because MarineLorD was right in that point where he wanted to get to Castle Age and just missing that little bit of gold. Is able to do so now, though, and he is on system level 5, so it's going to be a great economy for him. King's College now coming in as well. And with King's College, these Hobbelas might be going from absolutely useless to a little bit useful at times, depending, of course, on the situation, because they will be able to like do some more damage with a charge attack.
Now, with Wham's micro, he might be able to capitalize on this, because Wham is definitely someone who can micro when needed. The problem is MarineLorD is the god of it, and every single time there's 1 ounce of micro from Wham's side, MarineLorD matches it just as well. Now, the villagers are out here a little bit out of position now, I would say that, but the army is right there with them, and the horses, they do not mind taking a little one-on-one. We do see all the upgrades instantly queued up from Wham here, and on MarineLorD's side, he's got horseman upgrades. That's all he needs.
I mean, at this point of time, I kind of fear, like, even if it was 40 Hobbelas, they might not be able to beat the horsemen from MarineLorD. Getting
Steeled
pierce
arrow.
damage in now as well, which makes me think that maybe Wham is considering a yeoman transition.
Now, this does feel like the standard transition in Castle, right? So, with Lars of Lancaster having all those manors pumping wood and food into your economy, you, of course, feel pretty comfortable getting that yeoman transition going. The thing is just, you're up against a lot of horsemen, and that does feel like a tough position to be in. He does get a villager killed, though. Hobbelas, crackety. They're something.
They're built different, man. Definitely built different. One of the units of all time.
Now, Wham is doubling down on the Hobbelas, though. He's gonna have 26 pretty soon, and in these numbers, Crackety, is there something they can do? Oh, and he's getting the upgrade
He's drinking
as
salt
well.
water.
With enough salt water, as we know. Now, he is gonna be able to get the manor upgrade alongside this as well. This means he's gonna go up to 9 manors. But the problem is, with 9 manors comes a lot of responsibility. And right now, I don't think Wham is the army to keep that responsibility going, because if he overcommits to this, these horses are going to be making quick work of any semblance of an eco that he has back there in his base.
Getting more and more longbos in at this point in time as well. Definitely more than enough in order to start one-shotting these spearmen now. I'm very much worried at the moment for him. Looks like he is going for the next levy build here, potentially. He is saving up some gold, is trying to reinvest it, though, before the levy comes in.
Now,
MarineLorD
these
looks like he wants to
horses-
force the issue.
And he doesn't mind taking a few arrow shots, but Wham is looking for some damage too, and MarineLorD is distracted. This could be his moment.
It took, like, he did get the point-blank charge in on these longbows, able to take a good account down there. Another villager or two do go down up there. Wham is starting to look a little bit better at this point in time, I want to say. Not the best yet, but MarineLorD is making a lot of horsemen, and horsemen, you might think are very good, but they tend to fall off at some point. I'm looking at the food income, though, for MarineLorD. I'm thinking, okay, maybe he can afford it. Because he's got 10 more horsemen in queue, if he cancels them, he would have enough food to go to Imperial Age. Where's all of that food coming from? Is it just from the deer that he's still on? Looks like it.
He's got a little bit of farms, and he just depleted the boar as well. Now the villagers are going to have a different thing they're thinking about. But this very mobile army, it does have its perks. The problem is just he hasn't been able to use those perks just yet. Now the horses, they are pretty scary, but if those spearmen turn around at the right moment, this could be a very, very short life for them.
It's a 1-for-1 trade, 2-for-1. are getting some yeomen in now as well. He just has to wait for these to make their way out.
He's getting the yeoman, but he also has the upgrade to go with it. Now, we still see the relic. They're right next to the base. The focus has not been on those, but the yeomen are now snacking away at a few units. We do see that the horsemen have got their abilities activated, and they're going right on top for this, but it is going to be a very scary fight. There's a lot of spears in this army, and it does look like the horses are able to get some damage done. But as we can see, the army value is significant for MarineLorD here. It is dwindling pretty quickly though, but so are the spearman numbers. Only 5 left, and there's still a lot of horsemen on the field. Crackety, I think this might be it.
Yeomen not able to really counter out the archers here. Most of the Yeomen also down now at this point in time. And behind all of this, Triumph still steady, working behind all of that. It only just now ran out. We're seeing some knights now coming in from Wham, but they are getting met by 3 cataphracts immediately. MarineLorD still with 50 military force, 6,000 army value to just 1,700 from Wham. And now the manors are in danger as they're just getting burned down by the cavalry, one by one.
That's the problem when you are up against an opponent with this many melee units. They can easily do this now, especially with the latest nerf coming on in. But Wham definitely capitalized on a little bit of this economy. I just feel like the switch may have been a bit too late with the yeomen, or maybe they're just not going to be in the right amount. Did not take a great fight in that last matchup. But the manors now burning down all to a crisp. This is all going to be a memory of the previous Lancaster economy. Now, he is getting... What is that upgrade where they do the armored units? Oh, can we hover over that thing? Color versus, there we go.
Oh, that one, I mean, yeah. Yeah, now, I don't think that's going to save him at this point in time. We're still seeing more and more knights coming in, but MarineLorD, he's already prepping the Limitani in there. And it's 5 manors already down at this point in time. It's the majority of Wham's income pretty much from the manors that's now been taken down. Another manor going down. He's pretty much being pulled back to feudal age income at this point in time.
And now it doesn't look like Wham has the units. He's trying to hold back and just wait for the right moment to attack in this. We see the upgrades also coming on through, but the knights are looking for their engagement. But even with the limited longbows, they are enough to do the damage now. MarineLorD behind this, getting all the relics, just living his best life and thinking about his next series next weekend.
Wham, he is a fighter, but the fight has been fought at this point in time. No way back in this one as MarineLorD is now sitting on 11 cataphracts and counting. So much cavalry at this point in time, and the knights, they're looking at the cataphracts and they're like, this could have been me if I enlisted in the Roman military. Alas, it's not the case here. The remaining knights are getting cleaned up, and that is going to be GG. MarineLorD able to win the series 3-0. Whammin', we're getting clean sets today all around.
This seems to be a very commanding sided bracket right now, and I'm so surprised. All of these players, we expected to see a lot more fight, but apparently their opponents were prepared this week. MarineLorD and Atan practicing together, but Louis at the same time looking like an absolute god. Now, in our final matchup, we'll see if that is going to be a repeat, or if Puppypaw and Vortex is going to make this a little bit of a closer series than the others did today.
Yeah, I mean, taking a look back at these fights, truly the Hobbler is not something that I expected to see today. But yeah, MarineLorD just playing his normal level, I want to say, just very, very clinical, very mechanical, and just taking the cleanest approach here that he could possibly go for. Very well played and deserved. Is going to be able to advance now to the semifinals. And yeah, I do believe that we are going to be having an interview coming up with him just very, very shortly. So we're definitely looking forward to that as well.
Now, with every single fight that passed through, it looked like MarineLorD calculated, but Wham probably trying a little bit of something here, seeing if the Hobblars were going to be able to take on this, but you can see, with that mass from MarineLorD, he was able to respond to getting a very non-MarineLorD spawn, and absolute master play here again. Every single game, he showed us exactly how he was going to punish the opponent for every single mistake that they made. Now, let's go see if MarineLorD is going to be ready for this. And it seems like he is. Crackety, take it away. Oh.
All right, MarineLorD, congratulations. Winning against Wham 3-0, a very, very clean set. How are you feeling about that set after you just played it? It looks like you were very much in form there in this one, and definitely not giving any opportunities there to Wham in those games.
Not sure, it felt pretty good. Game 3 was very hard, obviously, but after the draft, I felt like it was gonna be a pretty even match. I felt like the draft on both sides was good. But after getting game 1 Zushi French, I felt like I would have a very good draft advantage, because the two map left will be to my advantage, in my opinion. And getting French against Zushi, I think it could be way worse in this draft. If you get French against Ottoman, for example, it could be way harder. But against Zushi, it's his first pick, and I feel like French Zushi is pretty close. Like, he's gonna have a small advantage in this matchup, but I should be okay with French if I do very well. And I did very well, so overall I felt pretty happy.
Yeah, you did very well there, starving him out of gold there in that game, and in the end just being able to surround him with the knights, getting the technology catch up there in the end as well. Worked really, really well. In the second game as well, I mean, Knights Templar on these hybrid maps, I feel like you did a very good job there, just like maneuvering your pilgrims around every time like you saw where Wham's military was, so you're like shifting to the other sacred side, just making sure that you're still getting all that passive gold income in, and just obviously like we know at this point in time, Knights Templar on these hybrid maps, the synergy with the archer spam is very, very strong. We saw you going for the Knights Hospital there though, instead of the normal like French build there as well. Is that something that you think is going to be more common in the future just because of the villager movement speed buff, or is that just something that you thought, okay, you can just pick it there because like you're only going to make archers anyways, or was that something that you planned on?
Yeah, it's already something I was doing before the patch, so the patch only helps, obviously. But yeah, if you go Knights in this matchup against Kashyyyk, I feel like the Knights get destroyed. And if you go Knights, you need to go on gold, which is very hard to defend against Mangodai and Knights, or like Kashyyyk. So I feel like going for this play I did, just mass archer spears. You only go for the wood line, so you don't have anything to defend. And it's super easy to play, I think. Super easy to play, super strong. I saw like almost everyone was losing this matchup in the tournament. And I agree, like Mongol is not bad into Knights Templar, but I don't know, like it's not a free win by any means, I think. Templar have some stuff to do to defend themselves. But overall, like, I think Wham played very bad the first two games. I mean, okay, objectively, the 3 games he played not too well. I think he could do way better. Usually I would expect better from him. But yeah, game 1, I think he just edged up at a random timing and died. And game 2, he just went very aggressive on docks at a timing where he should not be going aggressive on docks. So I just killed the fish, I killed the archer, and I'm just too far ahead, right? So I think that was some big mistakes from his part.
Yeah, I mean, also just like forcing the mistakes, of course, but I do agree, like there were some questionable plays there in the end. But Byzantines, the last game was kind of perplexing. Did you expect the Hobbler play at all? Because at some point during the game, I feel like they were kind of like in their prime spotlight when they were able to catch up to those longbows, and of course, like Hobbler is just taking way less damage than normal horsemen up against the longbowmen, and they were able to clean up them a bunch of times. The Triumph play, though, that we saw from you, do you think that that's something that we're going to see more and more often now from Byzantines? It's kind of like the meta is starting to evolve, because we have seen it come up many more times, like recently, players going for Triumph there.
Yeah, I think you just go Hippodrome if you get tower rushed, and that's it. It's not very complicated. But obviously my spawn was pretty hard. On top of that, I didn't get a lot of sheep. So honestly, it was pure freestyle this game, but I had no way, in my opinion, to win this if he played well. He made some mistakes, so I obviously pushed it and tried to get some advantage in different ways. But obviously getting back like my 3 gold in the back at the same spot, plus my 2 deer pack, plus my second and third berry close together. When I saw the spawn, I was like, okay, hopefully it doesn't tower rush there. And if he does, honestly, it's gonna be like error 404, I'm just gonna be totally fucked and I have no idea what to do. So I'm just gonna play and try my best, but honestly I didn't expect to win this one.
Yeah, I'm sorry for making you dissect like every single game right after playing them,
Fine.
but I do want to pick your brain on what's coming up next, because we did, of course, see Anatant beating out Beastie 3-0 today, and he's going to be your next opponent, of course, in the semifinals. And what do you think? Like, what are you expecting there? Because obviously you probably did watch that set as it was played. Are you surprised by Anatant's performance up against Beastie? And like, what are you thinking are his chances up against you, of course, as you're the more seasoned player, so to say?
Yeah, I was impressed for sure. 3-0 against Beastie is not an easy thing to do, and it was pretty dominant too. I don't think they played too well, so I'm not too worried about Anatant. Like, I don't think he's gonna be like, he has a chance against me, right? Just like Wham, but I think I'm favored. But obviously, Anatant very impressive, and I'm very happy for him, obviously, because I practice a lot with him, and he didn't get the result he wanted for a while. But this year, I think he's really happy about his performance, and yeah, good for him.
All right. Thank you so much for MarineLorD. I'm gonna let you get some rest now as we're getting ready for the next series. Thank you for being there, and we'll see more from you. And thanks for showing off Potato as well.
Always there. That's my support. Let's go. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you, MarineLorD.